Next speaker, Mr. Fred Segala.
Hi, everyone. Fred Segala, District 2. Tonight, you'll consider item 10. It's imperative that steps be taken to avoid any appearance of impropriety, even if it means recusing yourself from the investigation entirely or involving an independent and impartial third party with no vested interest in the outcome to review the findings. By instead recommending a law firm that's defended the city against claims of racism, classism, and the same kind of corruption currently under investigation, this item introduces a glaring conflict of interest and a blatant bias, which the public would undoubtedly perceive as compromising the integrity of this investigation. Excuse me. Please try to imagine the distrust and doubt you'd be sowing agreeing with that. While it is understandable you need to limit exposure of certain information, it is highly questionable to appoint this law firm to help do that. What if they had some interaction with potential subjects over the past decade they've worked on high-profile cases here, for example? You must recognize that the very nature of this law firm's expertise and extensive past experience with our city may make it difficult for them to be objective in determining what information should be disclosed. Their interests may conflict with the public's right to know, and they may be more inclined to protect the interests of Anaheim as their client rather than the interests of Anaheim residents. There is simply no way we can be assured of a balancing of interests if you support this recommendation tonight. Editing assistance, if outside the JL Group's ability, should come from another independent source, not from anyone who's had past and current dealings with our city. I'm pretty shocked and unhappy that I've had to take time away from my family to be here tonight, all because something this irresponsible would even be recommended and that it would even be up for consideration tonight. This process must remain independent. Please consider how taking such an imprudent action would erode any attempts to build trust or good faith with the public. I would hope that you would instead be focused on reassuring us that the release of findings will remain as close to originally intended as possible. I'd like to hear reassurances from each of you tonight, expressing, as our previous council did, that we will be receiving what we paid for. We demand to know the substance of the findings and that any editing or analysis for privacy and other privilege issues will be conducted by an independent source. We have a right to know the truth about matters that affect the lives of our families and community. Transparency is not just about fulfilling a promise. It's about creating a culture of trust and openness and upholding the principles of fairness and justice in our society. It's about putting the needs of constituents first and reassuring us that you are accountable to us by not undermining your own credibility. Now is the time to exhibit the courage necessary to keep this investigation independent. Please dismiss any recommendation that would cut corners and damage the integrity of the investigation brought before you tonight. Thank you.